Please tell me this isn't real, I muttered, staring at the blurry photo on my phone. There, half smiling and tied to a white plastic lawn chair with neon green garden hoses, sat my little brother, Nathan. A jumbo pool noodle was wedged behind his head like some kind of soft crown. His phone was still in his lap, obviously snapped mid-live stream. Behind him, an angry woman in a sun hat the size of a UFO and mirrored sunglasses jabbed her finger toward the lens like she was issuing a royal decree. "You have no authority here, young man," read the caption. But what really sent me into a coughing fit of confused laughter was the text from Sheriff Turner beneath the image. Your brother okay? This just came into dispatch. He might have been citizen arrested by Karen. Nathan wasn't just my kid brother. He was Deputy Nathan Lewis, the youngest sworn officer in county history. Sure, he looked like he belonged in junior prom photos, but the kid had a badge, a sidearm, and the kind of patience that made most rookies look like toddlers in timeout. The idea that someone, anyone, had managed to detain him with lawn furniture and optimism was ridiculous. But if anyone could pull off something that stupid, it would be Brenda Hargrove. Brenda was the self-appointed queen of Willow Creek Gardens. The HOA didn't actually exist, but she ruled like it did, with laminated flyers, passive-aggressive lawn notes, and a clipboard she wielded like a broadsword. Her version of Law and Order was a mix of courtroom drama reruns and whatever she invented after 3 glasses of boxed Chardonnay. She once called 911 because someone's Halloween witch decoration gave her dog anxiety. Another time, she tried to get a teenager evicted for drumming too loudly at 2 p.m. on a Saturday. She wasn't just a Karen. She was the final boss of Karens. Somehow, this woman had managed to wrangle my cop brother like he was a kid stealing candy. The morning had started off normal. Nathan had the day off and planned to grab lunch with me at Benny's Diner, same as every Thursday. I got there first, ordered 2 burgers and fries, and waited. 10 minutes passed. Then 20. I figured maybe he got caught in traffic or stopped to help someone. Then came the text from Turner. Then the photo. Then a call from dispatch saying Nathan's body cam had gone dark inside an unspecified residential shed. Panic hit like a slap, fast and cold. I bolted from the diner and sped toward Willow Creek. On the way, I tried calling Nathan. Voicemail. I tried again. Nothing. Then I called the sheriff. "Yeah, we saw it go down in real time," Turner said. He must have tapped his live stream before the camera was covered. Looked like he was trying to prove his identity, but she just kept yelling about fake badges and deep state infiltration of suburban neighborhoods. "Your brother's okay, but we don't want this to escalate." Escalate? She tied up a cop. Technically, she used pool toys. We're trying to be diplomatic. I hung up and floored it. By the time I reached Willow Creek, I could already hear Brenda before I saw her. Her voice carried like a siren of self-righteousness. She was standing in the cul-de-sac, arms flailing, screaming at someone out of sight behind a row of trash bins. "Young man, you will stay right there until proper law enforcement arrives," she barked. "You think a buzz cut and a shiny badge let you infiltrate this community? Not on my watch." Neighbors peeked through curtains. One guy even held up his phone to record. I parked half on the sidewalk and jumped out, scanning for Nathan. That's when I saw the shed, the community pool shed, a sad little structure with faded paint and a broken lock. Through the crack in the door, I saw a movement. Nathan's shoulder shifted. I yanked the door open. There he was, my brother, the mighty deputy, sitting in a busted lawn chair with a pool skimmer across his lap like a lance. A strip of duct tape dangled from the chair arm. He looked up at me, deadpan. "Took you long enough." "What the hell happened?" She saw me walking. I parked 2 blocks over to get some air before lunch. She thought I was casing houses. Tried to call the cops. I told her I was the cops. Showed her my ID. She said I was impersonating an officer, then tackled me with a pool net. Behind me, Brenda shrieked. "That's right. I performed a lawful citizen's arrest under the Community Protection Protocol of 2005. That's not a real thing." I yelled. "It's in the bylaws." "There are no bylaws." Nathan stood up, shaking off the hose. She also confiscated my phone, wallet, and badge. Said they were evidence of impersonation. Called me a government clone with cop energy. I snorted despite myself. Nathan stayed calm under pressure, but Brenda was still pacing like she was conducting a full-blown symphony of virtue. Then a cruiser pulled up. Turner stepped out, looking like he aged 10 years in 10 minutes. "Afternoon, folks," he sighed. "Brenda, What exactly do you think you're doing? Saving the neighborhood, she beamed. He refused to provide ID. He might be involved in some infiltration ring. He's a deputy. No, no, she huffed, pulling a wrinkled paper from her purse. According to this pamphlet I made, real deputies are at least 6 feet tall and wear navy. He is neither. Turner blinked. That's not how anything works. I demand a substance test. Nathan crossed his arms. Ma'am, I'll need my badge and phone back. You'll get nothing until you admit you're part of a youth infiltration project. She thinks you're a sleeper agent, I said. Brenda stormed toward her car to get more evidence and tripped over her own hose. The neighbors burst out laughing. Nathan cracked a smile. Lunch still on? He asked. Yeah, I said. But I think you might be internet famous. Turner eventually cuffed Brenda for interfering with an officer and obstruction. Nathan looked at me and muttered, Next time I want lunch, I'll just drive around Willow Creek. But Brenda Hargrove wasn't done. She doubled down. Always. While most people apologize, she printed legal declarations in Comic Sans and mailed them to local officials. She insisted the shed was community property, making her detention of Nathan legal. The body cam footage, up until she smacked it with a broom, went viral. A teen from the neighborhood filmed everything from his window and posted it online. Within hours, the clip had millions of views. Her rants about deep state operatives, symmetrical faces, and youth infiltration became instant memes. The phrase, "he has that clone cop look," was on t-shirts by morning. Nathan remained calm. In his report, he listed every item Brenda used: the hose model, the lawn chair, even a lint roller. He ended the report with, "I've had worse first dates." Brenda wasn't done. She mailed a lawsuit to Nathan accusing him of trauma, humiliation, and weapon display near flower beds. She circled his holstered sidearm in red ink. Sheriff Turner assigned a department attorney to glance over the document. Rachel Monroe read it, laughed for 3 minutes straight, and suggested framing it. Brenda called the mayor, school board, and even the dog shelter with complaints. One letter accused Nathan of psychological warfare via calm tone. Another said our whole family might be part of a covert organization called YES, Youth Enforcement Syndicate, complete with a logo of a cartoon boy with handcuffs. National news picked up the story. Someone auto-tuned her rant into a remix that trended for days. Meanwhile, locals who had been quiet for years spoke up. Brenda had harassed teens, issued fake tickets, and even tried to ban a World War II vet's lawn flamingos. She wore a vest and flashed a plastic badge from a novelty store. There wasn't even a functioning HOA. Everything she did was based on a binder labeled Community Order Manifesto. Turner opened an investigation. What they found bordered on fraud. She mailed fake citations with payment slips to a P.O. box she owned. The neighborhood finally held a vote. She was banned from community roles for 5 years. She showed up at the sheriff's office in a cloak, declaring herself a sovereign enforcer. She tried to relieve Nathan of duty on behalf of the true republic. Turner escorted her out as she shouted about regional councils. At the trial, the courtroom was packed. Brenda brought folders labeled Enemies of Order and tried to submit a file on the pool shed. The judge, unimpressed, told her this was not a dramatic reading of her neighborhood diary. She called herself a sovereign representative of residential order and accused the court of chaos collaboration. The courtroom nearly burst with laughter. The judge was firm. Brenda had committed serious crimes. She sentenced her to community service, psychological evaluation, and barred her from civic activity. Her attempt to apologize with a song and tambourine was quickly rescinded. Nathan was promoted quietly to community liaison supervisor. At the neighborhood barbecue, people cheered when Nathan arrived. Someone made ribs, shaped like pool noodles. A sign taped to the pool shed read, "Deputy Nathan's Outpost. Beware of clipboard." As we stood outside that old shed, watching the sun set, Nathan said, "For all my training, nothing prepared me for suburban warfare. Lawn chairs, pool noodles, and a woman who thinks she outranks the sheriff." He chuckled. "Next time, I'm bringing animal control. She's terrified of possums." And we both knew this wasn't over. Not with Brenda. But for now, the neighborhood was at peace. And Nathan had earned something deeper than a badge, the community's respect.